Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the podcast, we're talking about Dr. Cornell West. Oh, the Democrats are worried about Dr. Cornell West, and we're going to discuss why. Now, Dr. Cornell West, his candidacy on the Green Party line, they say confuses some of his longtime political allies and friends, and so are also alarming top Democrats and black shills as a potential ticking time bomb, they say, for President Biden in the next year's election. They say the political philosopher and proud agitator is tapping into his fan base to attack, they say, Biden from the left. The president has never been fully embraced, and describing his administration as a mere postponement of fascism. Let's say, and as concerns over black voter enthusiasm bubble among Democrat operatives, West is also making deliberately, they say, race-based argument, accusing the Democratic establishment of treating the electorate like a plantation where you got ownership status in terms of which way you vote. Now, we want to address something. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am getting sick and tired upon sick and tired of these Democrats always worrying about us, worrying about what we're going to do, how we going to vote. What about the white vote? Why don't you go talk to them? They don't vote all the way Democrat, so shouldn't you be trying to go to those white voters and worry about the white vote? That Hispanic vote. You never hear the Democrats talk about the Hispanic vote. But they're always doing some sort of immigration policies. You never hear them talking about the Asian vote when they gave the Asians a hate crime bill and was giving Asians all kind of money on the federal level. Because you remember when Biden did executive order and just gave them $50 million because, oh, they're treating you so bad during the pandemic and, oh, nobody's buying your food and all the things that you're trying to sell. So let me give you $50 million. Then a lot of the states and cities gave the Asian community money. A lot of these Democrat cities and states, right? And yet the Democrats don't go call in a favor and say, hey, wait a minute, hold on now. This hate crime bill, all this money we gave y'all, you should be lined up to vote for Democrat. And the Democrats have every right to ask for votes from people they've done something for. They haven't done a thing for the black man and woman of America. When they come to you and say, well, what did Biden do for black people? Well, he signed the Inflation Reduction Act. And what does that has to do with our condition? Well, inflation affects black people, right? So that's going to try to help black people. So that means he's done something for black people. So something he do for everybody, right? Because we including everybody, that means he's done something for us. But when it comes to the Asians, he gets very specific. When it comes to Native Americans, he gets very specific. When he do something for white folks, he does something for Hispanics. Everything is very specific. But when it comes to us, no. What I do for everybody, yeah, you benefit. So basically one of them, well, you in the mix, so that's how you benefit. Nothing about your specific condition. And the condition that you're in as a collective of people was done by the sabotage of this nation. It wasn't that you were just lazy and didn't want to work. It's not that you didn't have no innovation. In the midst of our oppression and racialized terrorism, we have created and innovated America. Now, you imagine what America could be right now if they didn't get in the way of our creativity. They didn't get in the way of our innovation. See, what they don't want is a black Jeff Bezos or a black Bill Gates. And listen, we got them people right now. But the only reason why with those people, you don't know who they are, they don't even exist, because this system makes sure to stifle black American innovation, black American creativity. And what they rather do is go get a brother or sister from the Caribbean or the African continent and bring them over with that kind of creativity, if possible, because most of them not trying to do nothing on their own. They want to get a job and giving all their ideas to them like they like. Because one of the greatest threats to the white supremacists is entrepreneurship. He rather you working for him and giving him all your ideas while he made billions, he pays you pennies. This is why our best and brightest cannot work for the white supremacists, because you literally going to be forced to give all your great ideas to them. Now, the Democrats feel, and even Cornell West had acknowledged this, they feel that they own the black vote. It is theirs. And if you, like I told you before, you get outside of that default setting that white supremacy has for you, then it's going to make them react a certain way. The default setting is you vote Democrat. That's what you do on the voting side. The default setting for you, religion-wise, you believe in white Jesus. The default setting for you is also being anti-black, because a lot of black folk are very anti-black. And you want to know a good way how you can tell somebody's anti-black? When they want to go everywhere else except where the black community is at. Even when people travel, they'd rather go to Europe, they'd rather go to Asia, they'd rather go everywhere else but to go to a Caribbean nation or an African nation. Because this country teaches you to be anti-black. But let's continue. So he said most top Democrats remain skeptical about Dr. Cornell West and that he will raise enough money to mount an extensive operation as he jumped into the little-known People's Party to the Green Party. They say after a rocket rollout and are following the Biden campaign's lead, they say are deliberately not engaging with him. So let's talk about that. The Democrat strategy has been for a long time to ignore voices, because they feel that, well, if we sit down and talk with them like an interview, or even if we go back and forth with them on Twitter or whatever, how we're going to go back and forth with them, we're going to raise their profile because we don't want the Streisand effect to happen with these people. And if the Streisand effect happen, then we're going to make them have a bigger platform. So let's go ahead and ignore them. But see, when you're dealing with certifieds, when you're dealing with people who have a core message and who's going on their passion and their drive, they can outlast your silence, because they're going to keep speaking. They're going to be loud and loud and loud to the point to say, okay, now I'm going to have to address you because you're too loud. You're swaying too many people. So now I'm going to have to address you. Let me tell you something. All the Democrat shields and the Democrat Party, they know exactly who I am. Oh, yes, they do. They know very well who I am. But they don't want to talk to me because they don't want me to put them in a hot seat about what you're going to do for black people. They don't want that. So it's best that they just don't say nothing to me, because you want to talk to me and sit down, that's fine. Let's sit down. And one thing I cannot do, you can't buy me. Let me give you an example why you can't buy me. There was someone, I don't know who these groups were, wanted us to post a video to our channel, this actual channel, not the African diaspora, this channel, and wanted to pay, I think it was $1,500 at the time. And if the people watching, I'm going to address you. So I watched the video. It was about Hunter Biden. I don't care about Hunter Biden. I don't care what Hunter Biden do. What they got to do in my community? So then the person up the price said, well, look, we can give you $2,500 if you post this video. I'm like, no, I'm not posting that. One, you can't buy me like that. Now, you can run advertising and advertise a product or service. That's a different conversation. But you can't buy me and allow political messaging when I know my audience and what they like, what they need, and what they need to hear. See, y'all need to understand, I'm not that average black person that y'all can show up with some money and think like I'm a jump. Like I say, what's $2,500? You acting like you offer me 2.5 mil or something. Come on now. I mean, no, it's not going to happen like that. You post that kind of content on your own platforms, or somebody else is going to jump and raccoon for that kind of money. That's not me. Listen, I got a problem with the Democrats, but I'm not going. But I'm not no lackey for no right winger. I'm not by a long shot. I may agree with some ideals that's conservative for sure. Yes, I do. But understand, y'all got a white supremacy problem. And as long as y'all got a white supremacy problem, I can never engage your party or be a part of your party. Never. because we're going to clash when it comes to my people. Because whether I disagree with some things or not, I'm not going to sit here and raccoon it up with any kind of Republican or Democrat. I'm not raccooning it up with nobody. I believe in your principles, your messaging, and just taking a stand where you at. And also I'm a firm believer of all money not good money either. So please, now let's continue. Now they were saying that Cornell West, his decision to run on the ballot, they say which Democrats blame, they say it was spoiling both the 2000 and 2016 elections when Green presidential nominees drew enough votes to help Republicans in key states for the Electoral College. It has made Dr. Cornell West's candidacy a running source of angst and increasingly a topic of private conversations among multiple Democratic leaders nationally and in battleground states. They say multiple sources in leadership roles, they say at several new progressive establishment groups, said they were surprised by Dr. Cornell West's candidacy and their silence has been intentional. They say even media outlets and leftist commentators who have held him in high regard for decades are urging Dr. Cornell West to reconsider and in some notable cases run as a Democrat in a primary challenge to Biden. And well, he's not going to do that because he remember, Democrats, how y'all screwed Bernie Sanders over for Hillary. He remembers that. So see, you ruined the chance of him running as a Democrat. Got it? Why would somebody get involved with the Democrats when they have a history of sabotage and cheating in elections? Why would he do that? Because let's call it what it is. And I would say Democrats, you talk about 2016, it is not Jill Stein that caused y'all a problem. It is you. Because I firmly believe if Bernie Sanders would have been a Democrat nominee, we would have had President Sanders and not President Trump. I know that. Because Bernie Sanders at that time had a lot of energy and he had the young people with him of all groups. I seen that. All groups was with him. Nobody liked establishment Hillary. And y'all chose to go with establishment Hillary over what your eyes seen because you think, well, it don't matter what the people say. We picked the candidate. Do y'all know the Democrats or Republicans don't have to pick the person you choose in the primary? They don't have to. The Democrats legally sued and went to court about that to say they can choose the candidate they want to choose over what you want as a voter. See, they lie to you and say, oh, well, you come out, you pick the person, then we go with the person. No. They wanted Hillary to be president so bad that they ignored all the enthusiasm Bernie Sanders had against Trump's enthusiasm, right? And that's how you got Trump for 4 years. So stop blaming the Green Party. Stop blaming about Russia. Stop blaming about black people sitting at home for 2016. Blame your freaking selves. Because it was y'all, Democrat Party, that messed that whole election up. Remember, when you made that choice, Democrats, you split the party. You did it. And y'all went to talk to Bernie Sanders. He was trying to get y'all to, like, oh, well, y'all have to support Hillary. They're like, no, we ain't supporting her. They ain't voting for her. And that's how y'all lost. So why would Cornell West go be over there with y'all when y'all already got in your head, look, it's Biden, that's who we going with, that's the end of it? What would he do that for? That'd be a waste of time. So they said former Sanders aides has said that they opposed the Green Party run and don't understand what Dr. Cornell West is trying to accomplish through it. Say while Biden has consistently registered strong support among black voters, strategists looking ahead to 2024 are already worried about what those trends may mean for Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin. All of which are critical for the president's reelection hopes. They say if black voters don't show up for Biden in force, though there are fewer black voters in Arizona, let's talk about Arizona. Why aren't you targeting Hispanic vote? There's more Hispanics in Arizona. Why aren't you having a big campaign on Telemundo? Why aren't you having a big campaign on Univision? Why you aren't having that? Where is it? Where is your Democrat shields in the Hispanic community to go talk to Hispanics, right? Y'all should be calling in the favors with them, but you don't do it. You're always leaning on black people. And matter of fact, y'all's policies have allowed so many in the Hispanic community to come over here. They outnumber black folk. So why are you coming over to the black community and looking at us once again to come vote for you and try to keep you in power? But yet the other groups who's coming in, they got more numbers than us because you flooded the country with them. You did it. Remember, these people aren't breaking in. They're showing up to the border and say, hey, I'm claiming asylum. And they take them in. They're not climbing a wall. They're not sneaking in like that. If anybody's sneaking in, they're sneaking in that narcotic. But the people, no, they're not sneaking in. They turn themselves in. And I told you before, I know somebody personally who worked on the border, and he told me that they go turn themselves in. They don't sneak in. And the Democrats told them how to do it. The Democrats told them how to game the system and the loopholes in the laws. The Democrats did that. It wasn't the Republicans. So why aren't y'all in Arizona talking to the Hispanic community? Talking about the black people don't show up, please. Now, they said that Arizona is a Democrat state. And they say, well, Biden edged out Trump by little as 13,000 votes. Wasn't much at all. Sensing that black voter engagement would be a problem for them, the Congressional Black Caucus had already launched a new PAC, and we covered that here, to fund a wider array of efforts to make the case into 2024. Now, I said they will be also part of the work that say they're looking to do, we're citing black unemployment, at talking about a lower rate on record. Didn't they just release recently the unemployment claims and the majority of the claims of black people? So what are you doing so good at unemployment? They said the high rate of creation for new black-owned businesses that you're trying to tax in 2024, if they use Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, if they made more than $600, instead of giving them a freaking break like it was before, they had to make $20,000 to have a claim on it. They're saying investments in local projects like bus rapid transit in Pittsburgh and new water lines. Okay, so they view city services and infrastructure, because your new water line is supposed to be your infrastructure. They view that as doing something for black people. Once again, essential government functions like keeping the lights on. Hey, the lights is on, the power grid's working. That's doing something for black people because you use the lights, right? Hey, we put some new water pipes over here. That's doing something for black people. Anything is essential to government, that's doing something for black people, though. But the Democrats, you're worried because you don't give us anything. See, if you would have done lineage-based reparations and stopped being so anti-black racist, you Democrats, if you wasn't so much of an anti-black racist, you wouldn't have to worry about black people showing up. Because you would have did lineage-based reparations, we would have been getting our checks, and guess what would have happened? We would be showing up in big lines voting for you. If you done lineage-based reparations, I would be a big advocate of the Democrat Party. I would speak very well of the Democrat Party if they did that. I would feel the same way if a Republican Party did it. I would speak very well of them and vote for them if they gave us lineage-based reparations. You understand? But see, you always talk about the Republicans. Oh, see what the Republicans do? You don't want them in there, but yet you don't do nothing to combat the Republicans when they do something to black folk. Look what's going on right now in Florida, where they talking about basically the miseducation of American history, right? Trying to say black people learned some great skills in slavery that benefit them. Really? So basically slavery was a good thing because we got some on-the-job training they would have never got if we wouldn't have been a slave. Newsflash, you didn't bring bumbling idiots as slaves to the New World. You took the agriculturists, you took the farmers, you took the seamstress, you took the architects, you took the engineers, you took the best people you can get to come build your plantations. You're doing the same thing today with Africans. You go to the African continent and you pick the smartest Africans you could find. Give them full ride scholarships to American colleges and universities. And then when a lot of them come, because they've been handpicked by the folks, they happy to come over here because, hey, life will be so much better, I guess. But those people just want a job for the most part. They don't want to do for self. You want to sit here and literally have a brain drain of some of the smartest minds you can have coming from the African continent or coming from the Caribbean, but you don't make sure that Black Americans are treated the same. You don't do that. My thing is this. The Democrat Party, you got to show and prove. Hope is not going to work anymore. Hope and change is not going to work anymore. You can't say like Jesse Jackson, keep hope alive. Can't say that either. Because nothing about hope is tangible in the real world. I can't go buy a morsel of food with hope for my family. I can't pay the light bill with hope. I can't pay my car notes with hope. I can't pay my team that works with us and help us do our various platforms with hope. I need US dollars to do that. And Black America, what they're saying to you is we need lineage-based reparations. If you want to start off on the right foot, you get your behind to California and you tell Gavin Newsom and say, hey, y'all need to do lineage-based reparations for Black people in California. Because if y'all do it and start cutting checks, we could use this and springboard off of that. And then we'll start passing in all these other states. And this is how we're going to stay in power, is that we got to pay reparations to Black Americans. That is the only way you're going to even have a chance of staying in power. But if you do nothing for Black people, you keep on waving it in our face that you're not doing anything, you're ignoring us, not talking to us, or sending your shields to come say something. Black people are just tired. You're not owed anything because you have not given anything. We have not incurred no debt from you. None. You have not given us anything that we needed. You never gave us an anti-Black hate crime bill, which we need for our safety and protection. What do? You turn around and go give it to Asians, people who all that badly register on hate crimes. But we have had a consistent 500-year history of hate crimes. But you demand our votes? Are you crazy? You done fell on your head. Seriously. It's like the old people say, did your mama drop you on your head when you was a baby? Because you're talking crazy. And that's what I think the Democrat has to happen to the Democrat Party. They've been dropped on their heads. And they're not thinking straight. You need to give something to Black folk. Give them what they need. Anti-Black hate crime bill, reparations. That's the two things. And if you do an anti-Black hate crime bill, it needs to be enforced. So the race soldiers will be fearful of putting their hands on us when it's not warranted. Somebody running away from you doesn't warrant you beating them up or taking their life. Black America, you got to stand up for yourself. Stand up for our children. Because our children are watching us. So if you want to break that cycle of political stupidity, if you want to break that cycle of being a two-bit slave, because the majority of you are nothing but slaves. You're not physical slaves, but you're political slaves. All you do is serve the interests of everybody else and you get nothing out of the deal. That's slavery. Some of you are enslaved to addictions. Some of you are enslaved to cannabis that these people have tainted. Everything good that come from the earth, these people have tainted. Telling you is the Democrats should be worried. Dr. Cornell West isn't the problem. Y'all are the problem. And you know what? If Dr. Cornell West siphon off votes from y'all, good. I hope he do it, because at least if black folks go vote for Dr. Cornell West, then I'm happy with that. They don't have to vote for no Republican. They can vote for Dr. Cornell West. Just don't give your vote to the Democrats. Give it to Dr. Cornell West. Give it to him. Or give it to a Republican. Whatever you want to give it, just don't give it to the Democrats, because the Democrats have disrespected our community for way too long. Way too long. We asked you to do one thing when you got in office. Biden and the Democrats. You had the House and the Senate. We say pass that George Floyd bill and end qualified immunity for these race soldiers. That's the two things you could have done. If you would have even done that, got rid of qualified immunity, rein in the race soldiers with the George Floyd bill, you wouldn't even have an enthusiasm problem right now. But see, black folks today are a lot smarter than what they used to be because of news and information. They're seeing that you're doing for everybody else in their face. And then all you want to do is turn around and talk about, oh, vote for me, let me hold your baby. And I hope every person wise up to this party. They watch the red flags. They using terms like, ooh, that's kind of dangerous. What's so dangerous about the truth? The truth is dangerous. If the truth is dangerous, then that lets me know you're in allegiance with Satan. The truth is not dangerous whatsoever. Black people got to stand up as a community and let the Democrat Party know you can weather on a bind. We good. If we got to sit it out in 2024, we got to sit it out in 2028. We good with that. Or we just give our vote to third party candidates just because some of us, we have an addiction to performative voting. So I always say, if you're just so addicted to performative voting, give your vote to Dr. Cornell West, somebody like that. Because utterly ridiculous what was happening. These Democrats, they should be worried. And that's a good thing.